Okay, everybody, we are going over the mastermind class. Like I just said, I should have recorded. Press record. It's like, here we go. But yeah, this was so good. It was done by Nina Moorer. She is a new presidential diamond. She went presidential diamond in 4 months. And she pretty much gave us the breakdown and how she does that. And what I love about it is not age sensitive, it's not sex sensitive, and it can be male, female, young, old, whatever it is. And you guys are able to do this because she actually had a ton of dudes in there, and she had a ton of people 40 and up that are doing this thing and killing it. So there's no like limitations to what you can or can't do. Okay. So what I want you guys to do when you sign a new distributor is to create a little profile for them, so you can create a folder with their name on it and figure out what their why is. And here's why it's important. When you figure out what their why is, you can figure out that, like, if something happens and their downline maybe stops doing something or whatever, you can come back to them with what their why is and remind them that your dream is your dream and your other teammates is their dream, you know? So they are not two separate things, and you can continue on with your plan, and you can come back with them with what they told you in the beginning of why they joined. And it can't be something superficial. It has to be something very, very just like what pushes them and makes them really want this. Genuine. Okay, so this is like some of the good stuff. Let me read my notes real quick. So if you were on that Zoom with Nina the other day, she kind of touched on this a little bit. She talked about the 5 checks and the 5 points that you were supposed to do to be able to find the right distributors for your business. But she kind of broke it down even more on why it's so important and how to actually do it. So we will be getting into that. Who here, like when you're thinking about signing a distributor, you go for like the person that you think you can just like get signed up? Like you go for the easy one first. Like it's just like, oh yeah, she'll definitely join. Like she doesn't have a lot going on in her life, and like sure she could use a couple $100. Like I feel like that's what we do. But they say the way to actually build an empire, not just get a teammate, but to actually build a business partner and build strong pillars for your business, is do what's hard first. Like reach out to the people that make you feel uncomfortable because you're like, they're already successful, they're already working 9 to 5, they've already got like all these things going on in their life. Reach out to them first. And again, we'll get into that and why that's so important. Let me see. I think I can just kind of get into that because I think all these other things just kind of like go towards it. So what I want you guys to do is when you are looking at that hundreds list, I want you to think of this formula. It's basically having the 5 checks. So you have like your WHIP, which stands for work ethic, hunger, integrity, personal power, and influencer. But then for the checks, you want to make sure that, let me see. Yeah, just the 5 points. This is how you can figure out who is in these groups. So you have someone that's the age 25 to 55 years old. You can take these notes if you want. They're married. They pay a mortgage or rent. They have dependents. What that means, it doesn't necessarily mean that they just have children, because if you're in the people in the 55 and up group, they could be taking care of their parents. So they have responsibilities. And then they earn anywhere from 40 to 80K annually. And the reason why you want to do this, so if you are going through your hundreds list and you're looking at people and you can, yes, it says married. Yeah, number 2 is married. The first one was their age. As you're going through your hundreds list, you're going to do check marks next to person's name, like a tally mark. And the person that has all 5 And then people that have 4, people that have 3, people that have 2, people that have 1 or none, like the person that has all 5 are the people that you want to reach out first to, because they probably already have a form of a network. They already have money. They don't mind investing. They probably need extra money because we all generally live beyond our means. And we need to make sure that if they have dependents, then they see the importance in this because they have someone they're responsible for. Okay, now this is the second formula that you want to work with. So the first one was like the points, and now this is like the checks. So it's WHIP. It's the WHIP formula. WHIP. W stands for work ethic. H stands for hungry. I is integrity. And P is personal power or influence. The reason why this is so important is you're going to go back to your hundreds list and do this again and say, do they have a work ethic? Check. Are they hungry? Check. And what's the difference between hungry and desperate is two very different things. Someone who's desperate doesn't mean that they are going to have the drive to do something, but when they're hungry, that means if you have a starving dog, are you going to get between a starving dog and a bowl of food? No, because it's going to bite your hand off. They're going to do what it takes to make sure that they get to where they need to be. If you have someone that has integrity, they are going to stick with you. And she brought it this way, which I felt was like really important. She's like, I want someone with integrity that's going to stick with me and stay with me. If they're going to tell me that they're going to be all in for 3 months and then they're out, she's like, you don't even know your boyfriend in 5 months. You don't even know your husband after you've been married 5 months. She's like, so how are you going to come into a business and say you're going to give it a couple months and then you're going to be out? You don't even know anything yet. You haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. So have integrity. You need to find someone that has that drive in them and that stick-to-itiveness, okay? And then the personal power. What that means is she said, and I like the way that she explained it because you could confuse the two. If you're looking for someone with personal power, you could be like, oh, it's that person that when they walk into the room, they're the life of the party. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are an influencer. An influencer is someone that when someone says something, people listen and they follow instructions and they do. So who in your life and on your list meet this criteria? These are the people that you're going to want to reach out to first. So integrity, like they keep their word. They're always there. They're courteous. And so if you have a call set up with them and they said that they're going to show up, you know that they're going to show up. And if not, they reach out to you and they're like, sorry, something came up. Can we do it at this date instead? Like, that's kind of like the integrity thing too. And another thing that she said about someone that is hungry, she said, hungry people get it done. They don't care what other people think. And then she had the analogy of a man they saw at Dunkin' Donuts. He was obviously homeless and he was digging in the trash can looking for food. He was so hungry, he was going into the trash can to get the food, and he didn't care what people thought. He didn't care that people were looking because he had to fill that hunger within him. So it doesn't necessarily mean that someone is like physically starving. It just means that they just have that desire and that push inside them that they're just going to do what it takes and they don't care what people think. Okay, so this is a little script that they gave us that they're using when they find these 5 pointers and 5 checkers. So they're going in, they're just saying, hey, I just launched the biggest project of my life and I just wanted you to check it out. I respect your opinion. If I were to send this to you, it's about 15 minutes long. Do you think that you would have time to watch it? Again, I know that you're busy. And when they say yes, you can just say, when do you think that you will be able to watch it? And if they say like, I got a lot going on, so I can watch it like 9:30 tomorrow morning, then you just say, okay, so if I call you tomorrow at 9:45, you will have watched the video. And if they said yes, you're like, okay, I'll call you tomorrow at 9:45, and you set up the appointment. You get it in your calendar. And then after you talk to them, you just say, what did you like best about this video? So you're not leaving room for negativity, and they'll be like, they'll tell you what they liked about it. And then you say, okay, so again, I know that you are very busy. Do you know at least 3 people who could benefit from this opportunity? So you're kind of going to bypass them. Like, you're not even going to reach out to them about it. And it's almost like they're going to be like, wait, what? Like, why aren't you asking me? And then you can just say, you ask for their contact information and let them know that, just say like, I'll be letting them know that you referred me to them. And this is considered the takeaway method. And it's when they ask about themselves, you just say, sorry, I didn't even think that this would be something you would be interested in. But now, since you're telling me that you are, we can get these 3 referrals signed up on your team. So you've already got them boxed for Ruby. And the way that she broke it down, it was just so simple. And she had people in there that she had done that with. And they're like, yeah, I was a sucker. Like, I totally fell for it. And their teams are like just killing it. So it's going for the hard person first, getting them on the phone. She does not text at all. She thinks that's so lame. So get out of your comfort zone. You're going to call these people and get the interest from them. So you can send the link. And then the other thing that she is doing is, as soon as she gets these people into her network, she says, I need you to get me your hundreds list within 24 hours. As soon as they get the hundreds list within 24 hours, because this is like repetitive. We're doing the same thing over and over. That's why this is so genius and so simple. She says, okay, we're going to launch your business in 72 hours. I need you to get 3 to 5 people from your list, just like you, in front of me. So if they can't personally be in front of her because they live far away, she will get on a Zoom or a FaceTime, and they're all there present, and she will have the same launch. And she said it's so easy because all she does is uses the link that we have. It is visioncarrier.com, and she just literally presses play and lets them watch it. So when she does a launch, Misha was at a launch with her, and she said that she stood in the back of the room the whole time, didn't even say anything, and just like had her nephew introduce himself, tell his story, and then press play. Yeah, visioncarrier.com. Thank you, Misha, for putting that in there. So she made it like, can you imagine like being such a shy person and seeing someone very outgoing, talking in front of a large group of people, and just be like, man, I can never do that. But what she does is she makes it so simple that all you do is press play, and that's it. And they get those people signed up right away. Because if they've already got that savvy mindset, they're like, all right, yeah, where do I sign? So you're getting these people on their teams right away, and all you're doing is letting a video play for them. It's so simple. And then it's just repetitive over and over and over again. All right, the 3 guys, you're going to create your hundreds list. These are the points you want to hit. These are the checks you want to hit. Let's get those 3, 5 people in front of me. And then they're building diamonds in weeks just with this method. And it's just insane. And another thing that she said, do not ever post these events online, because you don't want it to be public. You want it to make it feel very private and exclusive, that this is just something for them and they're getting the opportunity to be a part of it. Is all of this making sense so far? Cool. Okay. Let me go to the next page. Okay. Another thing that they are doing is they're making sure that these steps are very duplicatable, like I said. So they have like the 3 things that they get them doing right away. They get the person to enroll as a distributor. They get them to boost at enrollment, because as you know, a distributor can sign and there's no BV. So they're making sure they're getting some kind of volume on their team from the get-go. And kind of that's like a part of being on their team. Like, you have to put something in there. It's smart. And then teaching them to get their 4 LCs. 1, because that makes sure that they get their fast start, and 2, that they get the distributor gets their bonus. Okay, and wave 3 is teaching them to teach. So you just keep on doing it over and over, keeping track of their goals, and just really keeping a solid conversation with her team. And then another thing that they talked about was the 4x3 rule, which is, it's our business, and that's how you build a really solid foundation. 4 loyal customers, 3 distributors. That's it across the board, building any chart. That's it. It's so simple, guys. It's so simple. So when you can get that in your head, like, that is where you're really going to get that growth. And another thing that she broke down was the levels of commitment. So you have 3 levels. You have people that just say, I'll try it, people that say, I'll do my best, and people that'll say, I'll do whatever it takes. If someone says that they'll try it, she's like, no, baby, I don't need you to try it. Just try my products. If you're going to try, just try my products, because I don't want just someone trying it. I want to do it. So I really like that she said that. And she also said, never turn an awesome, loyal customer into a mediocre distributor. If they're not going to work, keep them as a customer, because they will be much better off that way. If someone says, I'll do my best, she's like, that leaves room for error, because their best and my best are 2 very different things. So that's like a meh kind of thing. But if someone says, I'll do whatever it takes, she takes their hand and she runs with them. And you know how we've always had this thing where we say, you run with your runners and you walk with your walkers. This was hysterical. So she gets in the middle of the room and she picks someone's hand. She's like, you ready to do this? You ready to do this? She holds his hand and she starts running. And then all of a sudden he starts walking. She's like, what? You're walking? I got to go. So she drops him off in a seat, starts running down the street. She's like, you ready? You ready? And she picks him up. And they're running around in a circle, and she's like, grab him, I think he's ready, come on. And she's like running, now there's like 2, 3 of them, and she starts running more, there's another person, she runs past that person that she had like started walking, she's like, are you ready to run yet? Okay, come on. And there's like 5 of them running around the circle. She's like, this is how momentum works. You don't sit back and walk with a walker when you have runners that want to do this, and that's where you focus your attentions, and the people that are walking will eventually start running and pick up the pace. You set the tone. You set the pace. And she said momentum is very, very hard to get, but it's very easy to lose. So you have to get with it. So this is what I want everyone to do. Let me see if I can change my view here. For those of you that are not driving, I want you all to stand up, okay? You're all going to stand up together. Get up, everybody. Okay. You ready?
I'm standing in spirit.
Okay, thank you. All right, I want you to sit down. Guess what? You just won ambassador. How good does that feel? Okay, stand back up. We're going to stand back up. All right, sit back down. You're ambassador. Feels good, right? You see how fast that was? Momentum. Fast. Feels good. Yeah, we're jiving. We're feeling great. Now I want you to stand back up. Sit back down. Still feeling good. All right, we're going to stand up one more time, guys. I just want you to squat an inch. You're feeling it? We're going executive? Yes, executive's feeling real good right now. That's not even a thing anymore. We're going Ruby. Ruby's feeling good. Now I want you to squat another inch. All right, we're going to hang out here for a while. Life's feeling really good. That $500 a month paycheck feeling all right. Vibing with that. Liking it. Working our way to emerald, maybe, possibly, someday. It's gonna happen. Squat a little bit more, a little bit lower. Don't you touch that seat. Don't you touch it. We are getting close to diamond, y'all. Super close. We're excited. We're getting there. Your quads feeling it a little bit? Feeling your legs shaking a little bit, hurting a little bit. You wonder, why the heck am I still making you do this? All right, sit down. Didn't it feel so much better going ambassador super fast versus holding and holding and holding? It is the same amount of space to go from distributor to ambassador, distributor to Ruby, distributor, Emerald, whatever it is, but the momentum that you make it happen with, it can happen so much faster, or it can prolong the process by you just like taking your time. So that's why you like when you see people grow really fast, you're like, what the heck are they doing? Like, how do they grow so fast? Momentum. It's momentum. You run with your runners, guys. So here's the deal. If you're not a runner and you need to start walking, that is perfectly fine. We understand things happen. That is what the beautiful thing about network marketing is. Like, it's so forgiving. So you can always hit the reset button and get back going again, get back on the horse and start running and get your business up and running again. That's perfectly acceptable, okay? But don't be upset when your leader or enroller starts putting DTs and volume elsewhere and you're wondering where your volume went. Because as these LCs the 3 months ends, your volume is going to go down, and they've shifted their focus elsewhere with someone who is showing that they're coming every single day, they're working, they're consistent, and they want this, okay? So you being like loud and proud about what it is that you want, and you're coming to work and you're doing whatever it takes, that's what's going to make you a runner. And your enroller or someone on your team is going to be like, skirt, I see you in my back office enrolling all those customers, and they're going to hit you up and be like, you get this, you want this, let's do this together, I need you to be diamond. You're like, I'm a diamond? What? So if you guys want this, you have to prove it to yourself. You have to prove it to everybody that you want this. And I swear, you're going to be hunted down. Like, you can't hide from your enrollments. This is like, all this stuff just like blew my mind. It was just like so simple and everything that she said. All right, now let me try and go back to my notes. I got 4 minutes here before the other one starts. Okay, this is like just some inspirational quotes that she said. Misha, if there's anything that I'm missing, you can unmute yourself and say whatever too. She said, only way that you will get better is by doing more. And that is just so true. If there's things that scare you or you're just uncomfortable with doing, try it anyway, and eventually it'll become easier for you. If lives are scary for you, they're scary for everyone. We just start doing it, and then all of a sudden, like, we get on and it's like, it's no big deal. It's like, we just say whatever. And she talked about, like, when you're at an event, those people that actually speak and those people that actually stand up, or those people that are just like doing what they need to do, people that stand up, their paychecks go up. So keep that in mind. So if you're like worried or scared and you're like, I'm just going to be in the back here, she said, you're going to have a background paycheck. So be loud, be proud about what it is that you're doing, and just go for it. Your mentality produces your paycheck. So for those of you who aren't doing personal development, if you don't know what that means and you're new in here, that means being on calls like this, going on in our YouTube and finding an inspirational video and just putting 30 minutes into your business, like watching something, listening to something, reading something that pours back into you. Because if your pitcher is empty, you've got nothing in there to give to anybody else nor to yourself, and you're not re-nourishing yourself. So make sure you're doing that personal development. Okay, and she also mentioned this positive mindset. If you like are looking at your calendar, you're like, dang it, like it's halfway through the month and I still need 2,000 volume and blah, 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 blah. And she said, instead of like looking at how much more you need, look at how far you've already come in the month and be proud of what you have done, instead of putting negative mojos in your mind and just like, I'll never get there because I still need 2,000 volume. And just being proud of everything that you have already accomplished. And make sure that your business has been open every day. She said that doesn't mean just posting a greens picture. Like, make sure it's open. Are you getting people interacted with your business? Are you reaching out to people daily? to do like one-on-one calls or whatever. Oh, and this was really interesting. She said when you were looking at your chart, I know we're getting low on time. When you were looking at your chart and you were trying to promote, you've got business builders, right? Under like, you've got 3 legs now. Like, how simple is that? So the very first thing that you need to do is knock out your qualified leg. So if you're going diamond, you have 1 qualified leg, right? That top spot, get that 400 bucks done. And then move on from there, because the other people are your leaders that are helping you with that volume, that they can knock out their 400 spots, because those are the hardest ones to get, right? Because it's kind of you doing it on your own. So make sure to get those 400 spots done quickly first, done, then move on from everything else. And that's kind of opposite of what we have done, because like, oh, I'll get that stuff done last because I need to focus on these other things first. But she's saying do that first. And getting people on, like, being good at customer service. So if someone tells you that they want to lose like 25, 30, 50 pounds and they want fat fighters, just be like, no, I'm not selling you that. You're getting the system, because that's what's going to get you the results. So like, you being very positive and just knowledgeable and like have the right posture when you're talking about things, like, this is what you need. This is what we're putting in your cart, because this is the results that you want. And I know this will do it. So they come in with one thing, but you know that that's not going to be enough for them. And that's also helping with your BV too.
Something I wanted to bring up too, she brought up just some 4 steps at the end. She said the number 1 thing is, of course, sharing your product, but not only that, being a product of the product, which is, of course, that's something that we're always told. We know we need to be a product of the product. We know we need to use our products and show that they actually do work, because when people see our results and we have our testimony, then, you know, that makes them want to use it too. The second point that she brought out was share the plan over and over and over again. So if that's the business plan, you're sharing it over and over and over again. You know, it's so easy the way that they put in the Vision Carriers website, just because the video is just right there, you know, so just show it over and over and over again. The third point was invite everyone to the event. Everyone that you have in your team, in your downline, or your sideline sisters, your upline, and whatever people don't know about, make sure people know about events all the time. And if they're able, they need to be at these events, because that's how you plug in. That's how you get connected, which was number 4. She said, always stay connected. Do not let yourself get away from anyone else. Always, always, always stay connected and stay in the know. Stay in where everyone is.
Thank you for adding that, Misha. I had that on my next page. I was getting there. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Let me get a couple bites of food in me. Oh, and Misha, can you put in the chat too that YouTube video that she shared on how to actually invite someone to an event? Because she said that there's a proper way to communicate with people and how to talk to it and make it sound like they're almost missing out for not being on it. So we will put that in the chat so you can watch that. Yeah, I think everything else is, oh, okay. So this one more thing and then I'm going to stop. You know how like you have that distributor that just like you text them and they don't text you back and you keep reaching out and you're like, what's going on? So what you do is instead of focusing your intentions on that, like, man, like that stinks, like I need that distributor, focus on the positive that you can control, and you almost starve out the distractions. So what that means is like, you're not going to be like going in and following up and checking in and all that stuff. You're not going to say anything. And eventually they're going to keep watching. They're going to come to you and they're going to tell you when they're actually ready, because maybe when they joined, it just wasn't a good time. They had a lot going on in their life, and you just like hounding them is not going to make them change their mind. So you starving them out, they will come to you like, all right, I need this. Like, I'm ready to take it. And honestly, I had that happen to me this week, a distributor that just like wasn't doing anything. And she actually re-signed up because she kept watching me. She's like, I've never had my eyes feel so green in all my life because I want what you have. Like you have the freedom of time and you get to be with your son, and I'm all day working and I don't get to see mine ever. So make sure that you're just focusing on what you can control. And that's the people that really want this business, because you only need 3 legs. You only need 3, and you can get all the way to ambassador with 3 legs, which is absolutely insanity. It's crazy. It's so awesome.
I have one more thing. Thing I forgot that I just saw in my notes. She did mention, I'll make it really quick. She did mention, you know, sometimes when we meet different people and we know like their situation or they explain the situation, you can see that, you know, oh my gosh, I think this would be a great person for the business, or I think that I should go ahead and talk to them. But she said, do not approach someone about the business who has a broke mentality. If they are broke in the sense of they don't have enough money and that's constantly what they keep saying, then that's not what you want in your business, because you want someone who's going to also invest the time as well, because when they're thinking about being broke in one aspect, sometimes they think about being broke in other aspects too. So yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for adding that. All right, we are 5 minutes over. I'm real sorry, but I had to get like all this information in. I can open this up to questions. Does anyone have any questions or anything that they would like to add? You can unmute yourself, raise your hand. No? All right. Well, thanks everybody for getting on. This was awesome. There's 26 people on here. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everybody getting on. This is great. Maybe next time I won't look like I'm homeless. I swear I can get pretty sometimes. All right. Well, I am going to get off of here and finish packing because I leave tomorrow morning for Costa Rica and I haven't packed anything. Yay! All right. Well, I will hop off here, and the information for the done Zoom is in the chat. So if you want to hop on that, feel free. But we will talk soon, guys. Mwah. Thanks for everybody for being on. See ya.